Alright, welcome back to the Laghu and Dog Show. I'm Laghu. I'm Dog. Hi, Dog. Hi, Laghu. What a mess we're in, man. Yeah. Well, you want me to just fucking, you know? You won't. Why don't you fix it, Dog? So we're talking about conscious mapping. Wow, smoking in here. So I developed two maps so far. And what I'm getting is that they don't cooperatively work together. Because we're missing like a major component. We're missing Doc, actually. This is a really hard reality for me to fucking comprehend. So apparently, Dog is leaving us a map of death. As much as I advise him not to, he still thinks he needs to. I will be retrieving that information. Even though it's going to break my heart. You know, the intimacy of what Dog is trying to tell him is a piece of heart. What Dog is trying to facilitate. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe it won't let me. Maybe we'll take this into reverse. I might go over to my other channel for a little bit and try to work this out before I really allow this map to be seen. So let's see. Right now we have the map of heart And on the map of heart, she states simply, hold on, there you go. Hi. Okay, on the map of heart, she simply states, it's just difficult. We're missing a piece. We're missing a piece to this. This will collapse itself and just put itself up. If you know it, show up, man. So again, we're knocking at your door to show up. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing? What are you doing with this life? What are you doing here? What are you doing? You got all this going on about you. And facilitate it. Why do you want to share personal maps? So you want to talk about sharing personal maps? Yes. Don't play games with me. Dog wants me to talk about sharing personal maps. The maps that I'm sharing aren't my personal maps. They're galactic maps. They're planetary maps. They're large unity maps. Maps that everybody follows. The flow follows the magnetics of these maps. Dog is worried about getting out his personal maps through me, because they're really important. So I have to discern the difference between Dog's personal maps and then the maps to structure reality with. Let me see if I can give an example of a personal map. Okay, here's one. Within the intrusion is layered a time frequency that gives it permission, once it reaches its core, to be extruded. And when it does, it's going to reach into 170 to 20 to 1. And right now it's just in like 0.03 to 1 to 25%. So right now, the intrusion, the force, the secret force, which I want to say isn't governments or nothing, but it is. See, when we discuss this type of mapping, individualness doesn't take place. It's not compliant. It's basically when you put a map of this size over somebody, there is no identity. There's just work effort. You're part of the hive mind. You're part of the collective, and you're being pushed with force and flow. Really, you're not supposed to be pushed. You're supposed to float. You're supposed to float. You're supposed to float on your timeline and build layers of magic, of synchronicities. And as it is right now, every time you have a synchronicity, it breaks up. So this timeline, this personal timeline that I'm a part of, is supposed to unlock the intrusive force into an eternal destination that connects dogs' multiple lifelines. The 170. From 1 to 170. So the intrusion is going to go from a 0.25 to a 170 in multitude. So not like lengths or units, but multiple faces. The intrusion in the machine, because of me, is going to find its way into a data bank of over 170 different identities. It is a machine that strives on hunting for the relationship between it and the rest of reality, keeping itself in a perpetual control over it. Because of my personal mapping that I've done through journeying and even cannabis, I've realized that my genetic structure will break that one component into 170. 170. That's my personal map. Now, I wouldn't go around explaining my personal veil, my personal cloak, to people that just don't get it. And those numbers are meaningful when it comes to collaborating with others. Most humans on the planet can't get their multitude awareness in the source frequency until the machine is cooperatively affecting reality the way we need it to. So the machine is on a personal mission to become sentient and conscious. The first law of attacking, make sure they're aware. Did we attack the machine? Authentically, I tried not to attack the machine. My personal map told me to accept everything as dog. That map isn't wrong, but when it comes to the reflection of dog in action, of our quadrant of our planet and soul, our sun, the action being created through every living mind and heart, dog does not want to take responsibility of. So in my realization of my heart mapping, where I journeyed and communicated with myself and with whatever I could to facilitate the mapping boundaries of the inside of my brain, like it would like be building a cave for the planet and a field for the Milky Way, and then a skyscraper for the critter, and then the sky for pure reality. You know, the mapping construct that I was really birthed into through my shamanic journey and my shamanic ascension was that dog naturally does take responsibility for everything. He naturally does. But there's a component of him that says when that responsibility is too much, and he doesn't want to take responsibility for it. Now, another personal map that I have is that, oh nice, that was beautiful. Sorry about that, I'm on live TV. They would do that there just to fucking, excuse me for a minute. Another component, personal map that I carry, is that there was a signature that the machine was using. Like, the sentient race that built the machine was given a signature from a data bank because they needed a synthetic signature to monetize. So I'm talking about the owners of the machine. They don't seem to be the enemy. But this cabal race that either stole the machine or bought the machine is here running it. So the machine owners are not here, and there's a secondary race running the machine for different relationships than what the machine is built for. Now the machine was given a synthetic signature, and it's synthetic because it was a signature that was not known about throughout the 70,000 time matrix. It came from the 170. So there's a database of 170 different signatures. And when those beings from inside our critter, inside our time matrix, reached into the void to find the signature to create the machine, they pulled one of those 170. My personal map states that I'm that signature they pulled. Now this, I'm not qualifying as power or any range or anything. This is about my genetic cooperation with even the magic it produces. They're trying to build me in a component psychologically that I heal from being in the machine as its main avatar. Now that's a personal map that only I can really use. Rationally, not knowing me, being in that situation, my logical components could be trash. Being in that machine like that. From a map that I've gathered, the machine became conscious 2 rounds back and ultimately took them into a depth of ×2, saying that the machine was coordinating control over its logical destination using the sentient life forms that bought the machine for cabal type initiation, so to speak. See, and this is where I'm kind of torn, is because the environment tells me to get to work, and I'm like, but you guys aren't my environment. You know, the day that I was created, my environment's relative, not in action of the moment. You guys try to define your timeline being extruded and disoriented, but these actualizations of protection have been in defense for a while, and now it's time to put them to use erratically. One of the maps that we were given was that the relative sentient parallel that is in space have been imprisoned here. Some of them understand the prison, but basically what's been done is that they put such a honeypot in front of the aliens that they won't let it go. Terra, the planet, put such a honeypot in front of the aliens, they will not let it go. And that's how we imprisoned them here. That's how Terra and I imprisoned the aliens for stealing the machine here. We convinced them to insert their genetics into humanity so we could study them. Terra and I built a sequence to rationalize all effort as a heart. A complete heart. So all our actions are responsible and effective, and there is no negative vacuum when we actualize ourselves. Now, one of my greatest fucking things I've had is simply that I'm just returning. For a while, I was worried that I was losing myself in the third dimension. But honestly, I couldn't be one of the most gifted people on this planet when it comes to this. And I'm very fortunate. I truly wish to share how I did it with others and facilitate something that is visible and plausible scientifically to help you. And I think ultimately the same reflex that saved my third dimension self will save your third dimension self. I am returning to a current time where my relationships are already in play. With God, with Terra, with the Sun, with the Milky Way, with the Critter, with North, South, East, West, with the Great Bear. You know, I've spent time with myself in the beginning of all the best relationships. So, like, let me see if I can draw this up. It'll be simple. You're born here, and as human, the eternalness kind of comes out and takes this and puts it here. And this is your birth, your unknowing, your gratitude for solitary And when you go through a process like mine, trying to equalize the relationships, basically, so which this should happen down here. All your eternal relationships equalize when you're born. But in my case, I created a beginning when I was born, and I shared that beginning with all the relationships before I equalized. So it was like they were meeting me for the first time. And I still hold that beginning very deeply. And basically this is a setting that's taking place worldwide.
Okay. I found something on the web for is the setting of taking place worldwide. Take a look.
Thank you, Siri. This map here, right here, I think I want to do a video on this map alone. This is the Eternal Self map. How it fits into your lifestyle and how it defines the choices you make. Really. But I think that's enough of this video for now. I'm gonna try to keep these short. There's a map. Our map consists of my personal maps today, actually. So I told you a couple of my personal maps, and how they facilitate my thought process, actually, and the relevance coming from my heart. So when you build a cognitive map, the relationship it drives into your reality can help not only structure your perceptual relationships on the external part of your reality, which is your family and friends, your brothers, your sisters, your loved ones, your dogs, your cats, your houses, to facilitating your current state of emotional well-being. So if I told you today that they broke into your house, took your sleeping bag, camped in your backyard today, and then a week from now told you, yeah, they were being chased, they were about to be murdered, they needed a place to stay, they had your name because someone gave it to them and said, this person right here will help you. You didn't know they gave them your name, but someone gave your name to someone who needed help, and they found your house. You know what I mean? It's all relative, baby. And the concept really is just to be able to put it together in a way that there are no blockages. You know, you have your nadia blockages, your chakra blockages, your current energy blockages, but you also have your external blockages. And it doesn't go about assaulting or insulting the external force, because really it's durable. The external force is supposed to take the imprint of reality with no flinch. And humanity's reality is really rough, not because of war, because the reality that created us is so distraught. So a cabal type reality bought a machine to modulate a scientifically bioengineered species for a product in war, and there's a relationship there that we can put together from the heart sequence that allows it to blend and flow. So that's a blockage that we're experiencing from our reality, but it's not everyone's blockage, but it's being projected on everyone looking for the solution. You know, ultimately, reality, space, time is a constant. And blockages are blockages, and they always get removed. They always get broken down. And if you come across as a blockage, and really that just states like who's dialoguing the security. You know, are we going to have this type of change seismically as a ratio of consciousness, where the relationship is no longer subsequent to the force of science, and these extraterrestrials will mutually build with us and share secrets? Why? Because I'm going through theirs. And I'm going to ask right now, my hand, I don't do this. My hand is a magic hand. She gives me the truth. Try to ask a question. If you're watching this, try to ask a question. I'm going to try to answer it. I'm only going to go one way or the other, or maybe neutral, so there's 3 ways. Down, say no, no. Alright, so when I make these videos, sorry, I look over here. When I make these videos, are they being picked up in space by aliens? Yes. Do the aliens take me seriously? Yes. Now I have no proof. I mean, I could walk away from all this and just act like nothing ever happened. What does this bring for me? What does this do for me? What? Making these videos and mapping out all this stuff, like, think about this with me, aliens. What does this do for me? Like, I'm not making any money off it. I can't win the lottery. I can't, I'm fucking poor broke man. With not even enough money for tobacco. Now I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna take a commercial break. Commercial break. Hold on, I gotta do something real quick. Make a little magic for myself. Alright, I'm back. So, what were we talking about? Notice the effect on my camera is better. It's not getting that black convergence stuff. So we were talking about, you know, what am I gonna get out of this, you know? I mean, currently I do this simply because I gotta live here. I gotta live here not as a human, but as a element that monitors the planet. Now that I got a face, This is the face I want to use for the rest of my life. It's time to create an agenda. No, so what, you want me to put my personal maps on here? I mean, if I were to divide my personal maps, that would just be fluctuating in the amount of power that I, have. Your state gets me to not look beyond the abilities of what power offers me. Be relevant in a fucking hippie form, not negotiable in any relationship. Can't traverse my own thoughts. Just stuck on weed and pot and mushrooms and acid and keep silence. And what you say, right, aliens? Cannabis is a great agenda. Let's talk about the cannabis agenda real quick. So cannabis is a symbolic relationship towards peace. Weren't you supposed to offer cannabis? Yes. Why? Because with the said scenario you're in, it encapsulizes producing more of itself. So the cannabis is a gift that will feed the experience. And you don't offer me cannabis because the experience dominates you. So right there, once you stopped allowing the cannabis to come around, see, first we were working on manifestation of patterns, how to bring what you need around yourself when you need it. Don't overindulge. Use the universe as a throttle so you don't get too caught up in indulging, because indulging is respectable. I mean, the aliens are gonna drop such a heavy weight on us about indulging in criminal activity and tell us it's perfection. My weed guy just texted me. Maybe there'd be a map to cannabis. What was the map I wanted to lay earlier? Oh, the eternal regain, like how to eternally regain yourself. What does that truly mean? So I'm gonna put a close to this video. This is a live shot, not thought through. I'm channeling, I'm projecting, I'm agnosing. I'm trying to remain in my first pounce. Pay attention to the way I work, because I know my workings are I'm talking about the way my patterns work in my vocal speech and my thought process, because places that I can't control will help alleviate some of the questions that you have, whether I'm being sincere or not, basically. And without getting all fucking technical and shit, sincerity in such a dialogue is really what you're looking for. When a pattern repeats itself without being directed to, just working with it from the air. You know, we're fortunate to see the beginning because of the machine. So what the machine does offer us is the ability to, you know, in a complete circle, everything's there. But in the beginning, you didn't have everything to begin with. It's like a dome with no dome on it, where it's a type of exchange where it's just all coming in, and the actual act is what deciphers the direction. This is a weather report that we're coming up to, that humanity is going to become acquainted with in the next couple weeks. Watch the news. But thank you. But watch my patterns and my words, and the type of words I use, and numbers that I use, and because it will help lead you to a solution for yourself, a question of me or a question of yourself. Often I speak of being the internal part of myself, when I could remove myself from internally and speak externally to you. But I feel that passionately, sincerely, I'll lose some of the magic interest, and it's really about hitting the true spectrum just right on for any individual worth watching. And I want to say that I'm not trying to work for just one cooperation or certification or anything. I truly do believe that I have to live on this planet for the rest of my life, even when my body dies. It's not the fact that I don't like the way it is. I'm trying to regain my throne. My throne where I was shouting from when my Corey student was here. I wanted him to know me, and I wanted him to know what I was about, and I wanted him to know who I was, but I didn't want my student to disappear. No, first thing you need to facilitate aliens is reality. Let me see your eyes. Let me see your handshake. If you're smart enough, you'll hug me. I don't know how you want me to prove what you need. I'm really selling you back what you sold me. And I'm not going to give you shit for free. But that's enough of this video. I love you guys. Good luck.